really close between quite a few of those teams. So anyway, guys, it looks like we are about to go live. I think we just did the live on 3, so I think we're good to go and start things off here.
Perfect.
We're going to be jumping back into it. And once again, for those of you that may just be joining us, it is going to be on Mirage for our first map. Let us dive into it. The CTs on the top left there. That is going to be Misfits, and the Ts are going to be CLG. I'm sure we'll get the top part updated for the actual teams in a second here so that they properly display it. But just for your viewing pleasure, so you know which is which.
Just look at their beautiful faces. You can see part of their logos. For now, we'll rock out with that. As into this round, it looks like CLG are getting ready to do a contact play out of A ramp and out of Palace. They'll get one flash. Davidovec is in CT, so it is a full retake on towards the A site, but without a kid. So keep that in mind. We'll see if this bomb's going to be able to tick down until it becomes nearly impossible for Misfits. So time is certainly becoming an issue here. As they push into jungle, CLG gets so much map control for free without dying at all.
Yeah, and so now it's going to actually become very, very tense because just look at the minimap right now. There's players spread out all over the dang place, but at the moment it's all domination coming out from CLG. 3 quick kills from them, 0 response up until that point anyway from the guys on Misfits. Davidovec finally moves in with 1 pickup of his own against Kusta, but that still brought them to the very bitter end of things, and Finesse is going to be able to move out. Quickly gets 1 pickup for himself. Almanac will trade that, but the problem is Almanac's now stuck in the bench position, so he'll go down, and CLG will take very, very quick control of the opening pistol here.
It's rough to play retake when you don't have a kill on the CT side, so you feel a little more pressure to take fights. Perhaps you don't fully commit to that retake setup. But I really like what CLG did there. They stacked up towards A ramp. They had a couple players in Palace. The Palace player flashed, and they simply just swarmed the site. And they realized, well, we have 2 flashes. They used the second to flash in towards connector. They used a smoke there as well and got jungle control. And it is so hard to retake when you don't have jungle and window control, and you're feeling pressured from connector because you think someone's at stairs from CLG. CLG made that incredibly difficult for Misfits to get any traction, trying to get back into that round. And now Misfits are in a spot where they'll get the scout, of course, and whatever else they need. But CLG are looking comfortable to walk into an open B site. Misfits even on the 4th round go for a little bit of a stack, which, you know, you got to take chances sometimes.
Yeah, unfortunately, this stack is not going to end up panning out for them. However, as CLG are about to find out in a moment here, the site over here on B is going to be directly open for the taking, so they'll just waltz right in, take free control of that, and obviously just post up now to prevent anyone from Misfits from upsetting against them on the rotate here. So they've secured that, and that should be an easy 2-0 for them. Plus or minus, obviously a few deaths here on the exit that we would generally expect to happen, but still pretty straightforward round from CLG since Misfits went for that gamble stack on the A site and obviously did not pan out.
Well, at least Misfits don't lose a single member, right? If they went 1B and the rest stacked towards A, one player wouldn't have anything in the next round. So at least they still have full nades that they bought in with a smoke double nade. They'll get the upgraded pistols in the next round, so there's another chance for them to deal significant damage if they can get a couple kills next round. There's still hope, so it's better to have some chances than none. And I like the call from Sean. I mean, you really have to take a chance in a round like this. You didn't want to commit fully with Shazam, of course, who's saving for the op. And it's actually a very mild second round buy if you look at it in comparison to other rounds where pretty much everyone will get just armor pistol. Sean likes to spread it thin, get some utility, get a scout on the board, and give themselves a really decent chance.
Absolutely. So, we're going to actually end up going into a pause here. I believe there's a small technical issue for the guys on CLG, so there's going to take a second to fix that. And then we should be able to resume play. But pretty straightforward game so far here with CLG taking the helm of things, and Misfits obviously still looking to build upon themselves here as they're still going to have a pretty decent buy after not losing too many players in the previous round. They're still going to have those force-ups from the last round and have a little bit of firepower anyway to play off of here. But with the stack last round not panning out, obviously the last round goes through without there seeing much of a conflict across the map at all. And it makes it a very straightforward win for CLG there. Not much fighting needed to be done at all. And there we go. Looks like we're going to be unpaused, and we'll jump back into it.
We'll see if Misfits are going to go for something very similar. But based on the way they're looking out of spawn, it's going to be a little bit of a mid-fight, perhaps. Something similar. But I think the scout's probably just going to try to tag up as many people as they can, perhaps towards mid. Maybe it can solo B because it can scout it out nice and early. There's a lot of options Sean can go for here.
They'll definitely try to at least utilize positions a bit more this time. I highly doubt we'll see them go for another sort of gamble stack, considering they need to more than anything they need to get rid of these guns before they get into the gun round. They might be keen on just kind of saving the players with armor, but for those with just pistols, there's not much of a merit of keeping them alive for an extended period of time here. they are probably going to be relatively okay with trying to go out into the open, at least on a couple trade kills if possible.
Yeah, now they're actually going to spread out. As I mentioned, Devdivek will go towards mid, trying to deal a little bit of damage, but he's actually mollied off now, down to 44. Sean Gares was taking quite a silly picture, actually, at media. Goes all in with his personality. Going to be playing in towards ladder room. Great flash forces Devdivek off the angle, and that's just great teamwork right now from CLG. Very, very clean. Not willing to take any chances. As that molly will make Shazam have to take a chance and stack up with Sean as they double push in towards ladder room, and they will catch Kustu pushed in all by his lonesome. So a 1-for-1 is not bad for Misfits in this current situation. Well, it is just a UMP down, so not the biggest deal for CLG either.
Yeah, and so now as we see things spreading out a little bit more across the map here, CLG is going to try to work together as a unit. They're mid moving in though. Sean's still able to hold it. Oh my god, Sean actually gets 2 more kills inside of ladder room here. They're finally going to push him, and I think finally they'll be able to get that trade kill, but still, Sean does massive damage, and it's for the time being still of a man advantage. They're going to be a little bit careful with taking these fights right outside of the ladder room here. And yeah, we can see that right there. Ethan bringing Sick down very, very low to just about 27 HP. Not going to be left standing for too much longer if they continue to take fights like that. So they need to be careful to make sure that they maintain this advantage. You can see Amanek as well here, just kind of slowly creeping out, but not going to have the greatest position to actually take down Ethan here. So Ethan will indeed win the fight. And that means we're even again into a 2v2, and not for very long either. Riquet immediately finds Devdivek moving outside of the market area, and now Sick low at 27 HP. The dream here to upset in this round might as well be dead. Tries to make one last-ditched effort to rush outside of the window there in market, but it will not pay off. CLG still close out. Good recovery from them after Sean Garris' very nice play inside of the ladder room. CLG still come out on top and will lead 3-0.
That is such a shame that Sean Garris' big 3K in ladder room. He dropped 2 UMPs, 1 AK player. Misfits, granted they didn't have a lot to go into that round with, but some of the peaks are questionable, where they take a 1v1, perhaps get dropped. If they just group, they had rotations, they were in rotation positions, but it's just such a shame that that round slipped away. Sean did so much with the CZ. As it's Shazam who will get the op-out, Kusta will do the same. His Misfits are a little bit low on the utility side of things already. I mean, you can look at the time on the clock, and they only have 2 smokes, as it's a great flash forward, and a 2-for-1 right now for Misfits. Make it a 3-for-1. Great work for Misfits with the smoke or flash towards top mid. CLG fully blind, unable to have really any kind of answer. And it all of a sudden just Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan, unfortunately, while he may be able to sneak off 1 or 2 kills here, the odds are still very much stacked against him. You can see him trying to play this very, very cautiously. He knows for certain he's got Shazam stuck back over here. Just wants to look for the opportunity for the kill. And there we go. Nice lineup there to pick up at least one of them. So he has to go back very, very slowly. Good damage on Sick, too.
Oh, my God.
And now the peek out to find Almanek, too. They're just peeking him one by one, giving him these aim battles that he wants. They need to fall back, group up. Try to get at least a good 1v1 going. Ethan's going to move in. He does get lost a little bit in trying to find where Sick has hidden himself. Is he going to be able to find him here? Does a double take, but still gets the kill. And now, all of a sudden, it's been brought down to a 1v1. Sean is going to have to look to clutch this for Misfits all of a sudden. Oh my goodness, and Ethan even goes up, he completes it! Goes up and picks it up, and we even hear Ryu from the other side. Amazing stuff from Ethan to clutch in a 1v4 situation, giving CLG another round. We thought they were done for, but no siree. CLG holds on to it and still will keep their lead.
That's a round where if Sean owned the table, he would have to buy a new one because it would be snapped in half. All of his players taking 1v1 aim duels. Granted, Sick did try to run away, but that peek from Amanek was not needed in connector. They had the double up positions. Sick got caught, and that is just a big painful. It's a big pain, to put it bluntly. As now Misfits are just doing the Deagle Brigade. Shazam will get his P250, trying to save up for that op. But that was something that's going to sting for a while now in the back of Misfits' throat.
Mm-hmm. So now that has left Misfits in a very, very bad situation after dropping around in that fashion too. Brought all the way down to a 1v4, and somehow we still see a massive clutch come out there. Beautifully done. What a way to start out the day here too on the first gun round. That's certainly going to help CLG. Specifically, Ethan there went out throughout the rest of this tournament here. Definitely gives them a good morale boost to continue fighting.
Look at Sean Gares, actually. I was going to say, just as he pushes down a ramp, Kusta is holding this. But perhaps spotting Kusta down here may give a little more info towards Sean Gares. If the op's not top mid, he just spots the upper. It could be just Kusta holding a ramp for any kind of aggression, and we'll see, as no one's actually playing in the B site for Misfits. So, again, it's another little bit of a gamble from Sean, as the bomb's going to get picked up by Ricky. And with Cutler finding no point of contact whatsoever, no shots coming his way, they'll realize at this point what's going on. The gig has been up.
Yeah, Shazam will push forward here now into the market area, looking for his way to try and resist the push from CLG, but they seem to have gotten in relatively scot-free here. So they're going to be able to take easy control. And CLG, at this point, we're really under no threat at all of losing this round. We can already see Kusta taking down Shazam as he tries to cross through market. Again, Misfits just found kind of completely out of position as they're playing this really weird CT side. It's never really properly reading into things, especially on these eco rounds, it seems. Always just really out of position and figuring out what's going on way too late into the round. So it's not giving them a whole lot of opportunities to upset here. Obviously, again, there's a possibility for them to get a few exit kills, but in terms of winning the round, that hope is long gone. And we can slowly see the Misfits roster getting torn apart, specifically by Kusta here. He's ripping him to shreds. He's got one more fight to go. Actually, I think Ricky is going to help him out over there as he knocks out the last man standing for Misfits.
I am actually very surprised with Sean pushing down a ramp, getting spotted by Kusta, that perhaps no one rotated off. Typically, you may see a rifler there to back up the op if it is going to be an A play, or some kind of tell like that. But again, I don't want to read too much into it because it is just one of those rounds where you have to stack, you have to take a chance. And you're right, by the time they figured things out, it was too late. But now the buy will come back out for Misfits. And Shazam's going to be limited once more. When there's only 2 kits on the team, Shazam doesn't have just barely any utility whatsoever. But at least he will get his big green op out as Misfits go for an A-ramp push. Now they spot nobody, and they know mid-pressure's coming. This is just a perfect split right now for CLG if they want to commit towards B, and they are finding all the frags. Ethan will get into it as well, as it's just Davidovec and Omnek, the Frenchmen, together.
Yeah, Bomanek's going to try to hide. Both these players are going to try to hide themselves away inside of the sites, but we can see CLG slowly creeping back in. Omenek strikes, though, from the bench position. He'll now try to move, and he gets his second kill from his new spot. Now, well, once again, try and change things up a little bit for himself. In the meantime, we're not seeing any additional support move out from his teammate just yet here, as he's slowly still holding on in the event that CLG would pull back their players and try to rotate them towards another part of the map. But again, not seeing any immediate signs of that just yet.
It's taking forever, though. Yeah, that'll be the tell. As soon as the molly comes out, Amanek is smoked out. Ethan and Ricky will try to get to site. And it comes down to covering this plant.
Devo is going to slowly start rotating over here too now to look for an option to try and help out his teammate. For the time being, though, it does not look like Omenek's going to try to move from his position. He'll stay pretty safely secured and tucked away where he's hitting that now. Oh, so we can finally start firing back. Some good damage actually done right there from that position. Not enough to get the kill, but now we do see Devo moving in, and there we go. He's going to be able to strike, finds Ricky, brings it all down to Ethan, and he's not going to last very long either. The flank pays off for Misfits, and Davidovec is able to shut it down very quickly off of the flanking apartments, finally giving Misfits around here and putting them on the board.
And it's crazy to me, too, considering what Misfits did. CLG had the perfect counter for. They flash pushed a ramp. No one was there, but that takes 3 players off of spotting mid. It commits 2 players towards a ramp, and CLG went for a bit of a mid/B split. They got the pick into B. They found the kill on towards mid. They had full mid control and pretty much an open B bomb site. I think if they perhaps a little bit of hesitation in running up Catwalk with those 3 players mid, a couple of them actually fell off to fight Catwalk or to fight towards Connector instead of committing to those the opening 2 picks. And that ultimately is what came down costing him. It gave time for Misfits to get in position and a perfect flank from Davidovec in the end. As CLG, it looks like they're going to go back to just a simple A execution as Misfits will go into this mid-aggression we've seen them go for before. So it's on Shazam to at least find a pick when they go into this execution, and keep in mind, Misfits pick up that second op, so they're going to get 2 into this one. Oh, look at this boost for a smoke. It's a simpler CT smoke, isn't it?
It's probably just if they both have a smoke that they need to be in the same position for, so they kind of like just stand on top of each other. That probably is going to mess up one of the smokes a little bit, but not to a huge degree. I'm imagining they've dry run this. And that's unfortunate. Thankfully, there's no one there, so it's not going to be too big of a deal that molly just ends up whiffing on the top of the trip stack. But still, they're going to push forward anyway here, quickly moving in to clear out the site, and it'll be Ethan going for the plant here now. Misfits still sit on the outskirts of the site. However, Sean's going to be able to leap right up there, killing the planter before he can successfully escape and get back there. So CLG, they have site control, but it's a bit tentative. You can see they don't really... Oh, Ricky as well. Nicely trained onto this angle. Molly's going to force him out into the open. He tries to look for one more kill. Won't happen, though. Sick goes in, finds the trade. Kusa from back down to the ramp picks up one more in his own regard. And now we can see... There's a Misfits pushing forward. Great smoke, too. He's going to block off the ramp position. See Kusa trying to push forward, but no. Shazam and Amanek both pick up kills. Cutler will move in, dominating 2 players from the side of Misfits, but it's not going to matter much as the bomb has already been defused, and Misfits have claimed their second round.
Guess it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but those were 2 wasted mollies from CLG. You hate to see it when a molly actually bounces off a piece of wood instead of exploding. And then they ended up missing their CT molly behind the CT smoke, but perfect retake from Misfits. They still had appropriate utility on these players as they doubled up towards mid and had support from a player on catwalk, so they didn't need to use much early on in the round, perhaps just a flash and a smoke, and they had a ton of mollies just prepared for that retake. Now CLG will be opless, and looking to fight towards mid. A little delayed, they'll get the molly towards connector, flash come out after. All a ploy to give time for Ricky to get underneath window. This is Misfits' chance to really start to put some numbers on the board, and if they can break CLG early, we could see this game tied up in a moment.
Indeed we could, and this has been a huge turnaround here, because like I said before, Misfits look kind of lost in these first opening rounds, especially in the first gun round. But they've had a really, really good turnaround over these last 2 here. Really good control exercise over the A site, specifically in the last round there. CLG just really could not... I mean, CLG like got good site control. The problem is that I think they were too confident in their ability to execute there. So they move in, they take site control, but they never really push back out to clear the extremities of the site. They don't clear out, jungle or ticket booth or anything like that. They feel like they're going to be able to hold that even with just the smokes covering things off, and that was clearly not the case, as we saw. CLG had barely used any of their own utility at that point, so they were able to easily smoke off most of the angles that CLG were holding in the post plant and just easily kind of walk back in and defuse the bomb, as we ended up seeing there. Even the flank from CLG just came in way too late. Misfits had already defused the bomb by the time that player arrived in connector and kind of made the flank a bit of a moot point by the end of the round.
Oh, I like the sight boost. Amanek's baiting for it perfectly by back pillar. Rarely does it get checked when you have a player baiting for you, and he will drop the bomb, but Sean needs more. No, that spot's so hard to find frags, as Amanek will just get removed from the equation.
Ooh, and that's unfortunate. A miss from Shazam, too, pretty much kills his chances of a clutch. As now they know exactly where he's at, so Finesse, easy line up there to get the last kill, and CLG will go back to taking control of this matchup here now. 6-2 over the Misfits. And that will be also an economy reset against Misfits' favor. They're down with, mostly, for the most part, less than 2K on each player here, so there's no way they're going to be rebuying in this round. And they actually do force since they're in double save territory anyway. But even with the force, it's not going to be... You'll see the guns in a second here, but yeah it's just upgraded pistols.
These rounds have been close as well. The rounds they won, they only kept 2 and 1 player alive. So these games have been, or these rounds have been extremely tight for Misfits. And a scoreline like this early on, your economy's already been kind of just ripped a little bit. You might as well pull the band-aid off yourself, as Sick is able to find one with his CZ, but it's right now just all CLG, a sea of blue.
CLG are getting really confident here, too. Like, that was a very, bold peak from Ricky to just kind of walk outside of Palace. I mean, obviously, they probably knew the kind of buy that Misfits was working on in this round, but still, even with that considered, that was a very, very bold choice to just walk right into Palace there. And obviously, you can see he paid the price for it, but still, they don't seem to care too much as they're still in very dominant control of the round. Ethan just picks up another kill there off the nade. These last 2 have rotated in, and they're going to attempt some kind of a hold here. And I'm not entirely sure if they're actually going to go for full-on retake. At the very least, they can delay the plant for a little bit, see if they can tag down a few players. We're seeing Sean try to do now. Both have been revealed, too, so CLG will now work to just flank those 2 CTs out and take them down quickly here.
Their HP,
even there.
though.
Yeah, I still don't think there's a possibility for a clutch.
It shouldn't be.
Here comes the flank now, so that's going to bring Sean down very low. Just Amanek left alive. They play this smart. He should be dead in the next few seconds. And there you go. Cutler shuts it down. Another one for CLG. So they're well back on their way to holding this lead and rebuilding their money, more importantly here, too, after that got broken down from the 2 rounds won by the Misfits. Now they're back in fighting shape. And the Misfits will still have to go for at least 1 more save before they can buy again.
Yeah, $1,900 is all they're going to receive into this one. It is going to be pretty much full save. Amanek was sitting around 2,900. So we will go in just with a Deagle. So no utility, just a few upgraded pistols. As CLG, you can see, they know they've broken Misfits as they go into a couple SMGs of their own on the players who actually perished in the previous round. And it looks like CLG, they've done a really nice job of scouting for information, especially Cutler towards B. He's able to go first, spot it, no contact, and they're able to get the site. They've done it a couple times towards A. They've just been getting extremely lucky, as Misfits have had just negative luck with these stacks.
Now we can see, Ricky. First to pick up some himself. Very quick plant this time as once more Misfits, the stacks just not really panning out for them. Devadivek gets that one trade there simply because Cutler's been in the fight for too long. But ultimately, we can see their Kusta gets the trade right back. And again, no surprises here. Still just dominating on the anti-eco rounds. Misfits not able to get much done, especially on a round like that where they have basically zero investment. So pretty straightforward result as one would expect. Now the scoreline goes up to 8-2. We finally see another big investment coming in from Misfits, but we absolutely have to start seeing some impact for the Misfits here. As at the moment, they're flatlining on this CT side.
They've barely had any mollies this entire game, so you'll see some teams prefer to just pre-molly A ramp instead of smoking it, and then smoke it once you actually get a player close. They've tried the top mid aggression, one playing anti-flash on the underpass, one holding top mid, and it just hasn't worked out. It's been one of these it's been a pretty big timing game. Wherever CLG go, that's the place that Misfits just decided to neglect that round. And it's just so unfortunate for them as CLG are actually going to get up connector. Shazam playing stairs, has support from Sean Gares, and Sick is kind of in that winning spot from underpass. And here you have it, Misfits. They give up mid, but it's for the long game of Sick to push through B. And they're able to hold on towards connector. So now it's Ricky and Kusta pretty much in a world of hurt. But the way this game's been going, I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to deal at least some damage.
Kusta still sneaking in here. He's definitely seen, and he almost gets the wall bang there against Sean too. Just a little bit off the mark, I believe. Now he's going to look for an opportunity to push back in. Really very bold. This very aggressive. He's got to be careful though. Due to the obvious connector pressure that will still be there and he'll have to deal with, especially now that the player's been brought down so low. Great shot from Kusta.
No.
And Ricky in the meantime is mopping up shop here too. He's got 2 kills on his own from Firebox. Looking for one more. He'll finally get traded. But this is still a winnable 1v2 for Kusta here. They have 40 seconds left in the round. I would not count them out at all just yet here. Kusta's going to creep back up. Look for the opportunity to try and find a shot against Devo. And no, he'll be knocked out by Sick as he finally finds the right angle. And they'll deny another clutch coming out from CLG there.
Kusta was about to do something insane if that player was still in window room. He goes through that jungle smoke, hits a hop as he goes through it, and was ready to fight that player if he was still around in window room. As that was, I said don't count them out, and if 2 players are able to find 3 frags like that, you have to be a little bit concerned, as you can see how dampering that is on the Misfits by 2 UMPs just to get at that utility. At least the op is still in Shazam's hands. As going into this round, you'll see Kusta back towards his A ramp. And I like the dynamic change up from CLG. We've seen B rushes, we've seen B contacts, we've seen mid executions, we've seen A executions. They've been keeping Misfits guessing, even some quick connector plays. Misfits have no clue what card is going to get dealt every round. CLG haven't liked any defaults.
Now we can see again here too, CLG moving into the site, but they do have to be a little bit careful as they've been kind of pinched here. So we're going to have to watch out for this as we get later into the round. This is the very similar situation where Misfits were able to kind of easily retake a few rounds back and just ninja defuse the bomb before CLG were even able to really do anything about it. So the plant goes down, but this is a very, very similar situation that we had a few rounds back here. They don't really have good site control, so Misfits are going to be able to easily prop up and start looking for a retake, and CLG don't have a lot of room to wiggle. Oh my goodness, Ricky though just walks right out. They get that great flash in the jungle, lets him get a kill. Unfortunately, kind of overstays his welcome, and we see a quick trade. Oh, Cutler whiffing there in that duel too, so he's going to be taken down. But Kusta and Ethan find 2 more kills in their own. Ethan going to continue to spam in here as he can't see the bomb anymore. Finds another Rake on the ground to trade out to, and Kusta will shut down with the last 2 kills going in his direction. CLG continue to dominate here. They hold on despite that minimalist control over the site, and now lead 9-3 over Misfits as they're going to be forced into another eco round.
All the timing things aside that's gone wrong for Misfits this game, as I mentioned, CLG have just been able to find the holes in the defense. Whether it be finding sites that are completely open due to Misfits going for stacks on eco/force buys, or Misfits trying a new CT setup, trying to counter these CLG quick plays and execution. CLG has just been switching it up every round. That aside, CLG's firepower is just right now just overwhelming Misfits. CLG are just hitting their shots, and Misfits have really yet to woken up. I know the coffee was just made, so I don't know if they've had any yet.
Yeah, so we can see what kind of a buy Misfits, I think they actually ended up forcing, by the way, on Misfits. You take a look at the buys they have now.
Yeah, they had to.
So they bought down completely, but like I said before, they haven't really been finding much impact at all on rounds like this. They've been, for the most part, just getting kind of destroyed. And this is looking like another one of those examples where, at the moment. 0 damage traded onto CLG. Up until that point anyway, Sean continues to do work from inside of this ladder, and this is his spot right here. We saw back earlier on, he was able to do some pretty good impact. I think it was the second round too, where he got 3 kills from this spot. Now he's going to push forward. Didn't account for FNS still hiding out over here towards top mid though, so they're able to take, or he's able to take them down. Still, though, we'll have to continue fighting as there's more dangers lurking there at the bottom of mid, but they are the last 2 players alive in this game right now. And FNS, I'm sure, will be able to hide into the corner, call for some support from Cat or something like that. And yeah, just plays this nice and cautiously so as not to give his life away here.
I think Misfits might be having some communication issues. Because the player bottom connector, Sick, spotted FNS towards top boxes and just didn't tell Sean. So Sean just ran up catwalk with his pistol out and didn't even check top boxes, even though he flashed behind boxes to peek towards top mid, but more specifically to the left side, towards TV room. So Misfits, I think they might be a little rattled. This team, especially with Sean, prides themselves a lot on communication, and if that's breaking down, I mean, things are just not gonna be going your way.
I'm surprised we haven't seen another pause come in yet from Misfits too. I would expect Sean to be more aligned with that sort of a thing here and just trying to calm his team down a little bit, because they're just getting nothing done for the most part, especially on these eco rounds. Like they're winning a few sparing gun rounds here and there, but they're nothing really to like take back home and say, like, yeah, we did really good on these gun rounds. We put up a good effort at least, because on all the other gun rounds, for the most part, CLG are just kind of wrecking them and walking in, destroying them on these sites. Now, again, in this eco round here, Devo Duvek does get the initial kill, but it's not long before CLG are striking back. Ricky has already traded back onto Devo. And we're back down to another 4v4, where obviously CLG has a bit of an advantage to play off of here, considering the gun power.
Sick may be able to catch Q.
Nope.
All right. Why do I even bother, man? Why do I even bother? That was just Kusta is just on another level right now.
Oh man, Kusta is DMing in that site right now.
You can hear Moses somewhere screaming, running with the flags. That's his boy. So
it's beautiful pre-fire too.
He just knew, man. I don't know why I bother sometimes. As on round 15, Misfits will get the rifles back out. They'll get the op out. And utility's been a big thing here for Misfits this entire half. They've just been, economy, they've just been ruined this entire half. CLG have just straight up got the bulldozer out. They've rented it for the weekend, and it is just starting to flatten things here, as this Misfits CT side is, again, out firepowered. The timing has just been really off, and they're just getting no luck. As you can see, the luck just, it doesn't exist. Devo Duvek should have had that kill. Finesse comes back. And of course, he's the one to find it. It's just, the story continues here for Misfits.
Let's see if Sick can change up the luck. He only finishes off the kill into FNS. So that's a 2-for-1 trade in the favor of CLG. Not really worth it for Sick to go in that aggressively again. He only completes the kill. Granted, the thought pattern behind what he was doing was correct, because obviously you're generally not going to expect the second guy to go back inside after you got pushed out. But unfortunately, just got unlucky with the trades. Wasn't able to chain together this 2 individual kills at least to justify it and bring it down to a 3v3. So now they sit very far behind at a 4v3. They also really, they don't gain a whole lot of info off of that, because obviously CLG are not going to go straight forward and execute off of that kind of a play. So they're still, very much in the dark about where this site take is going to happen from.
Misfits are so spread. And I'm surprised no one's made some kind of play for info. Almanac's just been sitting in ladder room, and I think he's going to get spotted here from Ethan. Oh, he just goes down the ladder and escapes, but
Ethan actually probably isn't going to do a whole lot with this. Oh, okay, hold on.
He should be able to get, if they don't clear out bench, Ethan's got it.
I just heard them yelling from the other side. Shazam for sure saw Ethan going inside, so I know about that.
Yeah.
Ethan always now positioned to watch for that, so he's going to be able to take him down. And now Sean is going to pick up at least 1 or 2 players here. Ethan finds another one, knocking out Sean, and Ethan will even close out there with the final kill. There's
no way that Shazam should die in that situation. I understand that you're calling that as a player market, but he has to get out there and help. But it's such a they had all the cards there. They knew exactly what was happening as soon as they spotted Ethan. Shazam tried to find him last second, but as soon as Shazam went down there, that round was over, and that was just a dominating half from CLG. Again, the 3 things that have really stood out to me is, I guess, no luck for Misfits. Even the duels that are going in their favor, a flash comes out of nowhere, so no luck. Timing has been off on the stacks, on the pushes, on the CT plays Sean's trying to make to counter CLG. But they've just done so much, just a plethora of different things, from rushes to just straight up holding W's down connector. They've done 1 default. And just the firepower on CLG is just absolutely running over Misfits right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So it has taken us to the second half very quickly, but CLG with the lead they have, if they take this pistol, if the match is pretty much already over here, and it will be a very quick ascension for CLG to head up to 15 rounds. CLG, though, is going to have to be a little bit cautious here with the current way that they are set up. Essentially just playing into a more standard default, but haven't been able to read into where exactly Misfits are going to be executing from yet. Now they move in. It's just a big flush of players pushing themselves through the A site. And they're doing this in a very interesting way. They haven't actually gone back to clear out anything towards Ticket yet, so this lets CLG's players set up. Devo will move in to trade at the least on FNS after he gets the first kill. But again, there's been no clearance over here onto the guys on Ticket, so they've been able to push back out. They just went for a rush plant. But look, it's actually working. They're holding it out okay enough here. Ricky moving in can only get the one kill, and ultimately it's left to Kusta to try and clutch in a 1v3.
Don't think he's going to have an opportunity. And as I say that, Davidovec goes down. Sean Garrett should peek with his teammate, and Kusta gets two, and Amanek will finally shut down the madness. Question for you, Blue. Did that pistol round look familiar?
A little bit, yeah.
It was the exact one CLG ran.
Oh, was it really?
To pretty much a T. Smoke top connector, flash over stairs, you get jungle control, you plant triple side, and you just work around jungle control. The only difference is CLG actually used a second flash to push in towards jungle, and they actually got full control of window room. That was the one difference in those pistol rounds. So Misfits, seeing the strength in that pistol round. I'm assuming Sean obviously has known about that pistol round strat. It's very strong because you can ignore CT for the most part. And so you just have one player holding triple to make sure he doesn't push out a CT, because most CT players don't play in sight in pistol rounds. So you just have one player spotting that, and you get connector control slash jungle. That round should be over. And pretty much picture perfect what CLG did. Yeah,
so now looking into the second round here, CLG obviously is forced. Oh, they're going to be, oh my goodness, I just realized how bad that was too. That kill is completely untradeable right now. FNS not only gets this kill, but he gets it behind the smoke, so there's no way anyone from Misfits can easily push back in to kill him, and he barely took any damage from the fight too, so he's still going to be in a really strong suit, and he'll be able to fall back to the site now and play with an upgraded gun.
He has head armor as well, so this Mac 10 of Sean Garrett won't rip through him as much as he thinks, perhaps. It's an interesting buy from FNS, head armor and CZ. I mean, when you got the cash, might as well spend it. He's going to spot him. Yeah, now they're going to commit. They really have no choice. They have no other map control. Sean Garrett will lead the charge. We'll see if this Mac 10 is going to come into play. Good rotations from CLG, as it's just FNS who continues to find frags. Finally, Shazam with his Galil will be able to finally take him out of the round. Davidovec gets into it, as it's just Kusta with a USP. Not much he should be able to do. So Misfits, as rocky as it may seem, it's still a 5th round, and that's all they're really interested in right now is rounds.
He's really trying to go in there and at least finish off Davidovec. He knew he had him low. Affected him down to 8 HP, but just not enough to be able to find the kill. He just hit that last bullet and couldn't do it. So CLG will not be able to close out on the upset round, although they get very close to it. And that once again opens up the comeback potential here for Misfits, as they're going to go up to 6 rounds more than likely here. As we'll just assume that CLG won't be able to upset on this full save round that they're going to be going for now.
It's just there's like no wiggle room for Misfits, right? And especially in a game of Counter-Strike, it's like you like to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room if possible, just due to the pistols, due to the CZs. You can lose a round at a moment's notice. If one guy gets a double kill with a CZ, next thing you know, it's 2 rifles down, and the round can just evolve from there. So without this wiggle room, Misfits are going to have to just be very clean. Can't have too many mistakes. As Sean and Amanek will commit towards B by themselves with these Mac 10s, spot the stack, fall back, or at least attempt to, trading 1 for 1 with their lives. Mac 10s are not the biggest deals, and now Misfits know they have the A site, they'll get the plant. And if it goes according to plan, these Galils should be able to hang on, but I like the direction that was taken from Misfits.
Yep, Davidovec is going to push forward here, looking for an opportunity to pick up some more kills here, as we're still in a bit of an even battle, but with Ricky now finding another pickup here. Oh, there might not be the absolute chance that CLG would have lost this round anyway here, as they're still finding some trade frags here. Oh, we do see FNS just barely sneaking up the kill into Davidovec, so we'll be able to take him down. And how exactly they've even gotten to this point is the real question here. Shazam's now going to have to look to clutch, but with that kill, makes it a whole lot easier. Just saw someone go past over to trip stack him. While he does get dinked, it's not for a whole lot of damage, and he'll end up winning the fight regardless, taking down FNS and securing a round number 6 for the Misfits.
That was way too close. That was
for what kind of investment
close.
that was for CLG, that round was far too close.
That player CT perhaps overcommitted to the initial peak. I know he was trying to catch one of the players off guard, but you know they barely hit anything. You're pretty aware they have no armor, and he's still peek into CT and instantly get dinked. That round was certainly a bit too close for my liking as CLG. They're going for the jugular right away. Ricky with a glass cannon up. Kusta gets that one out of his own. As the only thing they will be lacking is an extra few nades, but outside of that, CLG are going for the win right away in the first rifle round.
And with how strong they were just on that previous round there with a minimalist investment, there's going to be even better looking odds for them now moving into these future rounds. So we will take a look at the execute from Misfits here and see how well propped up they're going to be. As they're holding back, they're playing it very, very slowly on this round, not really committing to anything just yet, kind of holding back, playing for picks against CLG. And CLG has responded in kind of with the same type of passive style play. They're not really taking any risks. They're basically just holding for mid, waiting to see if Misfits will execute out there. And it looks like that's actually going to align pretty well, as we do have them moving out now to take some control. Oh, Ricky just barely missing the shoulder of one of the players pushing outside here for Misfits. So not going to see them get an early kill. Oh, and even worse, Ethan just peeks blindly there. Does not really have a target acquired, so Devin is going to instantly headshot him, knocking him out of the round. Ricky, unfortunate timing, is just that he locked onto another player there. He gets shot in the back by Sick. And FNS, even though he gets this trade, is now put into a very, very tough position behind the site, where he's going to try and play from here. Sick sees his rifle, confirms his position, and now he's going to continue to push the problem. As he does have the bomb, he's going to want to be a little bit careful so as not to potentially give this up over to Finesse. Molly will force him out even more. Devo gets that kill, and that should, for the most part, clear out the site now.
Oh, Cutler. If he gets a second here, and Kusta can just wait and catch Sick as he crosses back the van, perhaps, or peeks up in towards Cutler's position. Cutler's trying to isolate Catwalk. The spray from Sick with the help of Davidovic will take down Cutler as it's Kusta in a 1v3, and he's actually made it onto site. Now there's two players, Catwalk. That volley will actually seal the deal. Kusta's going to be out of here. Back to market he will go. He'll hang on to his up. And if Ricky gets one kill towards Catwalk there, they don't find Ethan. It was a really lucky shot as Ethan was in the corner of connector, and he was trying to just jiggle peek over on top of the smoke. Actually, just got a little bit of pre-fire. But if Ricky gets a kill there, I don't think they find Ethan, and probably not this round. It was just unfortunate that Ricky was holding Catwalk for so long, misses the initial shot. But I won't take it away from Misfits as they get to 7. And a pause from CLG, which, you know what? Even when you have this big round lead, losing not only pistol, that's okay, that happens, but then losing the first rifle round and your force buys didn't work, losing 4 straight, it might make you sweat a little bit, considering what the scoreline was before this half started. I
mean, so this is why I was surprised we didn't see more pauses from Misfits, because, I mean, you have 4 of them, right? You have plenty of pauses that you can take at any point in the game. So CLG's going to use theirs early. They know they're struggling a tiny bit so far on the CT side. They've even come close to winning rounds. I wouldn't even necessarily say that they're in a bad position just yet. Misfits are only just now starting this comeback, so this is a good time to take a pause. Just, okay, you're obviously having some issues. Let's sort them out real quick before things get too far out of hand, and before you let CLG, or excuse me, before you let Misfits run a complete comeback and you end up at something like 10 to 12 or even closer scoreline, or even obviously Misfits taking the lead if things get really that bad.
The one thing CLG do have in this round is the Kusta op. I imagine they're talking about where to throw him real quick, and then about the next rifle round that will come following this round. As it's looking like a couple players towards B, you'll have Ricky trying to spot. The op of Kusta is towards this site, so there's potential here for Kusta to find some impact. It's just going to be so difficult with the flashes and everything that's about to be coming raining in with the smokes. I think Kuster is just going to be full blind the entire time as Misfits try to come out.
Yeah, so we will see Misfits move forward here, but they're kind of going to get destroyed on the way in a little bit here. They lose one player. Their utility gets messed up a tad too on the way forward, so they all kind of get stuck in the apartment. CLG now looking to hold this. Kus is going to be the big player that Misfits want to look to eliminate on the way back in. Now they've taken down one. Cutler swings out quickly to not just find one, but 2. It's going to take Shazam to trade that back as he finds one in his own. They bring Kusta down very, very low, so he's going to be put into a corner here, and he's got to play passively, hoping that they'll push into his corner. But Ethan with another find has brought it down to just Shazam here. All of a sudden looking to clutch in a 1v3 scenario. He has no positioning to work with. And even the smoke stands in his way too as he takes a blind fire shot, spots the player over there on cap, but it's going to be Kusta from the corner that'll take him down. An upset on the round for CLG as they get the completion on what they almost did just a few rounds back there. That'll now put them to 13 and put them only 3 rounds away from winning this first match of the day.
Did you count how many times I put my head in my hands, hit my head on the chair?
No, I wasn't paying attention.
So at least 7 times that round, a minimum. Not too sure the flashes were onto that one, and Kus was just given so much free reign. CLG actually got a lot of information towards A at the beginning of that round, so they knew exactly what was going on. They had the numbers towards B. And Misfits go for a full-blown execution against pistols, which it creates a lot of chaos and havoc, and Pistols love smokes. I think they're in a relationship, to be completely honest with you. There has to be a correlation between smokes on using smokes against force buy rounds and losing the round. Because they just love it so much. And Kusa's 100% taking this shot, yeah. Sean Gares go to 16. They have like no utility, and Kusa's going to make him pay. Molly's outside a window, as FNS's nade is good for one out of its own, and
that miss.
you know, he was moving. As Kusa goes down to Shazam, as FNS tries to hang on, but this is just Misfits again. Getting shredded under the B execution, but it is Almanac. It takes an individual play from mid to bring it back. Those are 2 rotators dead. And it's just Cutler.
Oh no. Shazam spots Cutler too, so that's going to take him down. And all right, that was weird at the end there.
Thought he went to sight, perhaps?
I guess, but I guess he just didn't see him shoot
Didn't
the first
hear him,
time.
maybe?
Yeah, I guess he just didn't notice him shooting the first time, so that was a little weird. Thought it looked right at him, but apparently not. So CLG will end up dropping that round due to a very nice series of trades, mainly coming up from Almanac in mid there. Really well done from him. He basically solo on his own recovers the round for Misfits, keeps it alive for them, and picks up an 8th. They're still very far behind, though, 5 rounds back behind CLG, and now potentially facing a reset, as they only win that with 2 players alive, so they do not end up with a whole lot of cash left over at all. CLG, though, put into a very, very similar situation, as they're going to be forced into this round. And as you can see, the buy is not that great. Still definitely enough to win a round, though, given what they've won rounds with in the past.
Yeah, it's one of those big swing rounds now. CLG win it. You can almost write this one off to the Taxman. It's more than likely perhaps over, unless Misfits have some kind of big play, because they will be just strapped for cash. They'll be reset, and they just can't afford that simply. But if Misfits win this, well, then CLG are in a similar boat where they have to go into a double save, perhaps just a force. As Ethan going to be tested here towards default, wins the opening duel. Keep in mind he's baiting for Cutler. I think they are still going to molly it, if not check it, as Cutler hasn't made a sound, hasn't peeked. And that may allow Misfits to just neglect it. They may just ignore it under balcony. And it looks like they will. Cutler gets the first, and he knows there's one more player towards sight. That is Sick, who's already weak. And that's big for Cutler to find those 2, as it's Sean Gares now coming back to see the dead corpses of his teammates. And a 1v3, and CLG, you mentioned it, they've won rounds with less. But this one still, again, is one of those painful rounds that cut deep.
He's going to slowly look for a position that he can use to re-entry into this site right now. But the odds are very much against him, and not really presenting him with a whole lot of opportunities to get back into this eventually. Kusta will find him out up on top of Tetris there. CLG knock him out, and that's round number 14 for them. Like I said before, that will essentially break Misfits. They have 2 players, as you can see, right around 2.5 and 3.3K. So they might force, considering the scoreline, but we'll see in a second.
It depends how comfortable they're feeling in the comeback. Sometimes you really base it on how you're feeling. And the way this game's gone, they can't be feeling good. So, yeah, it is just going to be a straight-up force. Sean Gares gets out utility. Sick. Just got the memo that they're buying, so he's able to get out body armor and an AK. And Misfits with 1 AK, just 3 smokes, barely any flashes, 1 molly. You have to use that to the utmost, as you just barely have none to spare. So the smoke will go out towards jungle, get one towards stairs. And this may allow them to get into sight and get up close and personal with CLG, if not a bomb plant. So they will have a post plant going into this.
They're going to push themselves to the back here. Almanac gets a very aggressive kill onto Ricky, and that's also going to give him the op. You can see he's being a little bit cautious just to pick up the op in the first place, since there's still a possibility for some of the CTs to be hiding back here, but won't be the case.
Yeah, they need to push CT. Okay, good. I was going to say, with 4 players stuck there, not knowing if anyone is CT, they had to push. And with Almanac pushing in now this round, yeah, it's just a save from CLG. They really forced that out.
Which is weird considering the kind of buy they're working with, and especially the fact that CLG still had a buttload of utility up to that point.
They're just so broke, right?
Yeah, I guess they decided they just don't want to risk it. They need to keep the gunpowder alive, but yeah, Misfits definitely outwit them in this round, or at least outforce them.
Yeah.
They just brute force their way through the A site, and it works out well. It at least gives them control, lets them take it, and that's going to put them up to 9. Now, keeping them in the game, but they're still very, very far behind. 5 rounds with CLG having 14 in the lead. That's still a very, very dangerous scoreline that could get out of control very quickly if they don't pay attention.
Yeah, CLG realized that if we lose this round, that's a back-to-back reset. So let's just hang on to our rifles. We'll keep the op in Kusa's hands, who's just been looking extremely just precise with it. 24 and 11. He's been having a really good game with the rifle for the op. Whatever they put in Kusa's hands, he seems to be able to find success. As Misfits, yeah, you're right. They just got just got really lucky with the way CLG wanted to play that one out. It was basically the very bare bones minimal play. One of the only plays they could make with what they had into that round. And they got lucky that CLG didn't want to fight more towards CT. And they caught Kusta completely off guard in towards CT as they pushed through smoke with a flash and a molly. And so once they got the op, CLG realized, you know what, we don't have CT. It's difficult to retake A without having CT control, especially against with what we have. We'll concede it. CLG will put up a fightable Y onto this one.
And now we are going to see Misfits move in. Trying to take mid control right at the start of this round. They'll be pretty successful upon doing that. CLG is not really going to resist things too much, even with the full buy. They'll sit back, they'll hide away, and essentially just wait for Misfits to try and push in from the extremities of the map and take some control, which they will look to start doing here now. Menace is going to have a big task in front of him, but he gets completely blinded, and Sick easily crouches underneath him. Oh, it even goes through, gets a second kill too, taking down Rikke. Now leaving only 3 standing for CLG, and they're going to be in the complete wrong site, so I imagine this will be another quick save call from them.
Yeah, they had another M4, right? So like Cutler might go back and grab that? Or was it in the B site?
Well, both the players that died were in like ladder room, so.
Okay, he could, yeah, Cutler could go for a little bit of a run. He only has armor UMP. That's 2,200 plus $300 smoke. Might be worth it for Cutler to go for a little bit of a run, but perhaps we've already gone to the gym today. So it looks like they are just going to hang on to that UMP. Kusta will be the man spawning towards CT. So Misfits will hit that double-digit mark. And more importantly, they'll finally get a clean round out where they keep 5 players alive. The previous round, CLG saved 3 players, and it was flawless again from Misfits. Back-to-back flawless rounds always is nice to contribute into your comeback. So this could be the start of something. But again, saving the op on Kusta, you can never count them out. They've won round with pistols and just the op on Kusta. So a little bit of timing, an early rotation, spotting for information right at the beginning, and next thing you know, the pistols can win the round. So.
Yeah, but with those losses, unfortunately, CLG is not really... okay, maybe not. I was about to say CLG really can't justify force buying, but it looks like they are able to at least squeak something together here. I was saying they get a pretty decent buy, too. Only 1 player down on a pistol because they can just buy another from Moss off of Kusta.
Yeah, if they lose this, they are just in 1 save round territory, so with the loss bonus.
Yeah, so they're going to be okay, thankfully, because of those saves, even with the trade-offs going all back and forth. Misfits will continue to change up their game plan. This is the one good thing is that their T side is a lot better than their CT side, and that they're keeping things varied up. They're not very easily readable, very predictable sort of setups that we started to see on their CT side. Things are a lot more mixed up, and it's making it harder for CLG to guess where exactly they're going to be playing for control across the map on this T side.
Kusta may be in a world of hurt in a moment. Misfits have walked all the way through underpass. Kusta will just realize, based on the timing, that it's time for him to change up his spot, as this is going to be an A pinch with 3 players coming up towards connector with bomb. Davidovic and Shazam will flash in. And CLG do have numbers here. I imagine as soon as this execution comes out, either A, Cutler's going to jump into a sandwich, or yeah, push into sight. So he is going to get into sight now. Ethan will be there to back him up, and Kusta's going to hold connector, who has to be very worried about Palace as well. But the round really lays on Kusta's shoulders here as he's shoulder peeking towards connector. And Misfits are going to get ready to go.
Still looking for the way into the site, but the instant Molotov rolls down from CLG and is going to block off the pathway here in connector. Even nades that are attempting to be thrown in are not finding much impact right now, but Sean will catch the first entry outside. It's not long before Ethan trades it, and they have to deal with players sitting over here on Catwalk too. Rikke decides not to stick around for too long, though. He's actually going to rotate back as they need the presence within the site. Cutler even still holds back in his position too, but they're going to be able to manage him off of a nice pre-fire from Davidovic. Now they take site control. They'll be able to work their way back in. It's a bit of a hesitant amount of control, but they've got a 4v3 man advantage. Shazam with a nice shot there. Knocks out Sick, but they did lose one of their own, and now it's even again because Ethan took out Sick.
Yeah, with Heffeness holding towards connector, I think he's going to push connector here, yeah. He won't check the safe corner, though, and he's just going to be posted up on Palace.
Oh, man.
He nearly got that shot. Amanek has just perfect timing. As Rikke, with just a FAMAS, he knows next round's a save, so he may just commit, try to drop some guns out of Misfits' hands, which would hurt them more in the future. And it's looking like the case. If he can drop 1 or 2, it would be ideal, and he is going to be able to find Amanek, and that may just prompt him to keep trying to find some fights. As, yeah, and Shazam will just peek him from Palace. So that's going to be 11 for Misfits. CLG, as I mentioned, they're going to have to save into this one. They can get out a couple upgraded pistols, maybe a little bit of utility. They have 2 players of 42 and 4,600. So just 1 lone save round. I'll put Misfits on 12. And they're starting to work around the map. They seem a lot more comfortable right now on their T side. Not only that, they're starting to hit their shots, which is clearly always helpful.
Yeah.
It always helps.
Definitely. Coming into their own form a little bit more here. Still quite a ways to go, but thankfully this round should be a little bit easier with CLG being on the full eco here. CLG have completely abandoned any mid-presence on this round. They are just playing 3-2 across the map. Oh, and even Soft and that's quickly crossing into ladder room there, so they're going to know he's got presence inside. Sick managed to take that shot right there, so he's going to have to watch out for that later on in the round. Misfits will continue to play it slowly, though, as they kind of just creep forward through mid here. And Sick will go for the quick entry on a finesse. Thinks he can hide up on top of the ladder. Not the case. He'll get dropped down very quickly by Sick. And now they are primed to execute here into the B site.
Yeah, they pushed A-ramp early, so they know exactly what's going on here for CLG. The issue was the players in mid stopping the rotations. As Cutler with one bullet, by the time he realizes CZ, he should be dead, if not dealt with. And there you go, Shazam. And Devo will tag team that as it's Kusta. 1v4, just USP. As I mentioned, it should be 12 for Misfits. And there you have it. Amanek will spray it down until he finds that frag. And the buy from CLG will be pretty much everything they need. The Yop will come out. No worry there. Gets thrown over by Ethan. They'll have mollies. They'll have kits. And again, it's another one of these rounds. Max loss. If they lose this, they'll get $3,400, but that means it's another save, which means we could be looking at a tied game. This one is still there for Misfits.
Absolutely. Still the chance for
a
them.
yawn.
A little bit, yeah. It's early
It's okay.
here. It's early for me anyway.
Still jet lagged?
Listen, it's 8 a.m. for me, where I usually am right now, so the jet lag is very much with me at the moment.
Right. I feel that.
Kusta, though, starts it off with a banger to start off this round. He's going to try to hit another one here, taking out Sick. Oh, no, he can't get that second shot, though. Sick sneaks away inside of the connector, but will be taken down by Cutler as he's able to eliminate him, so puts it down to a 5v3. And everything a little quiet now for a few seconds here. Misfits all of a sudden got very bold with their mid-presence, thinking that they would be able to easily take it because of the fact that CLG's been playing so passively on it the past few rounds, but because of that, CLG were able to easily pick up quite a few kills here.
I feel like their play there was, let's get a smoke connector, get someone through it, and try to find Kusta. But as soon as Kusta peeked mid-window, it was like, oh, it looks like he's not going to be playing around connector anymore. He's kind of in mid-window. We have to do something about that. So then they smoke it off. By the time they do that, it's already 2 players gone. As that was... Ricky seemed a little confused there for a second, wondering where the op shot came from. And it was Shazam, who gets out to jungle through mid-window. But he doesn't find a frag for his troubles. Amanek finds a lovely entry. But they need to do more in a 2v3 with no utility in the post plants. This French duo are really going to have to make a run for it.
Devo's already dead too, so it's up to Amanek to try and clutch this 1v3. He'll be taking up this position in the back of the A site, looking for the potential to clutch off of it. But now the flashbang goes back out. It's tough to get him out of this position. They're checking everything right now, but haven't been able to figure out exactly where he is, just sitting with this utility being used. There we go. There's the first pickup, and can he chain together 3? No, but he gets so close. What an attempt from Amanek. He brings it all the way down to Finesse. Finesse, thankfully, though, trades that last kill out and finally allows for CLG to go up to round 15.
That spacing on that peak towards Tetris had me terrified. A split second later, and Amanek, I think he wins that. It just... They played it tight, they played it close, the player Tiki Boot distracted him for just a split second, made him focus on him for just one moment, and that is when those 2 players peak. 15 for CLG. As Misfits, yeah, they'll put up a buy, but CLG now, feeling a little more comfortable now that they finally got that 15. They realize, you know what, we got OT at least, we can slow things down, and you see Shazam desperately trying to find the opening pick here for Misfits, even running through a smoke. They're going to commit. Ethan's about to have his hands completely full of Misfits members.
Very quickly, we're going to see Misfits starting to flood into the site here, but I'm not sure if CLG realizes it just yet because they are trying to sneak in through the extremities here. Ethan finds one. He's been flashed out, though, but so have the T, so neither one's going to be able to spot the others. Ethan rolls out, gets very close to a kill. Not going to find it just yet. Now they're being pinched on from Connector, too. Limits the numbers very highly for CLG, and they brought it down to just 1. He's going to be pushing out from Ticket Booth, and he won't last very long. Good hold in a very chaotic situation for the Misfits. In fact, both Sick and Amanek were down at 4 HP at the end of that round, but they still maintain. And that trades out the round again, causing a reset in the economy for CLG and putting Misfits up to 13.
I'm not sure if that was a CT flash that caught Ethan on default. If it was, that round is Ethan's if he doesn't get blinded there from a CT. If they call and he's able to dodge it, he kills that player a ramp. He kills that player sandwich. He doesn't die to the molly or take over 50% of his health from the molly alone. Those players were completely full blind. They couldn't see anything besides the inside of their eyelids. Did you know that? I'm just making things up, actually, to be completely honest with you.
Cool, because I got very confused for a second there.
But Ethan had just a chance there to turn the round into their favor. As you'll see, CLG have to take a save here, and that's a rough reset considering CLG won the previous round, and it just immediately go down to $1,400. They're buying next no matter what, but this is just a $0 investment from them.
Yeah, and so now for the Misfits here, they're going to have to once again spread out and try to play a little bit more slowly on this round. Will be a full eco from CLG, so not expecting any massive upsets here. Not expecting it anyway, but we've seen them come very close to doing it quite a few times already, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility either. But with 5 USPs, that would be very impressive to say the least.
I've only seen a round like this one once. That was when all 5 USPs went mid-window and out aimed AKs towards top mid.
I saw
made me sad.
I saw one in Pro League a couple weeks ago. It was Optic did it, if I remember correctly. Optic won the round. I forget who it was against though.
Probably C9.
No, I think it was. I don't.
Probably CLG.
I kind of want to say it was CLG actually.
Maybe CLG.
I don't think it was
on
them.
Train, right?
I feel like it was them though.
That was the Train game.
Yeah, it was on Train.
Yeah, I think that was.
Was
CLG.
it CLG?
I think so.
Well, then that's very relevant, then, isn't it?
I don't know if they'll be able to do it. Okay. Well, that's a great start. They take down the B player. Oh my God!
No.
Get out of here. There's no way. We just come on, dude. No.
This would be the
Are you kidding? I'm
map,
done,
dude.
dude. That's actually insane, dude.
What a way to end it. 16-13. CLG takes the map on a full eco round with 5 USPs. Just as we were talking about how it happened to them against Optic a few weeks ago in the ESL Pro League, they do it to the guys over on the Misfits. And what a heartbreaking way for them to lose this match after coming so close to making that a complete comeback and taking it all the way to OT. It's not going to happen this time, though. They will drop this opening map, and that means they're heading down to the lower bracket. For CLG, though, they will move forward, and they will push onwards into the upper bracket finals of Group B.
Let's just say, if that round, they should have lost. The most money was Kusa, $2,900. They're only going to get $1,900. It would have been OT.
No, that literally would have been OT if they won that round, because the next round would have had to have been a force, and it wouldn't have been that great of a force, to be honest.
I don't even know what to say, man. That is just a kick in the groin with a steel-toe boot.
Kicking the balls, I might say.
Yeah, with a steel-toe boot, maybe that's lit on fire, with a cactus on it.
Yeah.
That would hurt.
It's rough.
I don't even want to break down that anymore, because that is just, it takes away from the entire game when you win a round like that. But props to CLG. I've learned the lesson that never, no matter what pistol, never count it out, really.
Never doubt 5 USPs. Never doubt it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to close out our first match. That does mean we have the second one coming up very, very soon, so do stick with us. And we'll be returning with Rise Nation versus LG right here for the America's Minor as the road to Boston continues.